Good day and welcome to Diksha. My name is Omkar and today's topic, love. So on our previous episode, we covered emotions and we got some response on Facebook commenting on love in particular as a separate emotion completely let's say out of bounds with the rest. So I thought I'll delve into the topic of love. Now, before we begin looking deeply at love, we'll try to define love. So, when people say love, we tend to want to define love based on the relationship that it applies to. So, we will say that we have parental love for parents, which differs from the love we will have for siblings. And then we will say we might have love for objects. We may have love for friends. We have love for work. And let's say we wouldn't class a pet as an object, so we'll say pets. We'll have a love for ourselves. And I think we could make our lists a lot longer. And then I'll say, well, we'll have love for children. Okay? So the argument is that we have a different love. We have love for our parents, but it's different than the love for our siblings. We have love for our siblings, but it's different than the love for our friends. We have love for our friends, but it's different from the love for our pets. We have love for our pets, and it's different from the love for our children. Now, this doesn't make sense. It's illogical. Because if we were talking about, happiness, we would not say, I feel happy with my parents, but it's a different happiness when I'm with my siblings. Now, if you think about it, you might want to argue, yes, it's different. But nobody feels that way. We wouldn't say that if I feel sad with my siblings, but it's a different sadness when I'm with my friends. We won't say I feel angry with my work, and it's a different anger than when I'm with my children. So we don't class all our other emotions in the same way we class love. So we tend to put love in a whole different, let's say, category of emotion, because we want to say that the love is different. Obviously, you will have a different love for we can say spouse as one. So we'll have a different love for our spouse because we consider the sexual nature of the relationship. And we don't want to say, I love my spouse and I love my parents the same way, because it's an intellectual conflict. We would not say, I love my children the same way I love my pets, because although you take care of both, you don't want to class both under the same emotion. But you would, if you're angry, you would say, well, I'm angry with my pets and I'm angry with my kids, and you're angry. So I'm saying that to have separate forms of love is illogical, because love itself is one base emotion that we have different attachments in each situation. So I would argue that under given circumstantial evidence in each situation, we have a different form of attachment. And we confuse attachment with love. So what we really consider to be love is attachment for the object. So we have an attachment to our parents because of the nature of the relationship. We have an attachment to our pets, which is different than the nature of the relationship with our parents. So, is attachment love? I would say no. Because attachment is conditional. That is why we say we have a different love for our parents than we would have for our spouse, and a different love for our spouse than we would have for friends, because our attachment is conditional or situational. It's based on the situation, based on the nature of the relationship. Right? Now, an emotion, love or anger or happiness, sadness, is unconditional. We do not have conditions for our sadness. We do not have conditions for our happiness. We do not have conditions for our anger. We only have conditions for attachment. It's impossible to have a condition for love, because love itself is an emotion that arises from itself. It arises from within us, as an experience within us. Now, some people may argue, well, when you're in love, you have the brain releases these chemicals that make you feel euphoric, and if we're going biological, then probably that would make sense. But the biological is only looking at let's say the top of our being. It doesn't consider our mental being, our psyche, our self, our ego. It doesn't consider any of that. So you can't even class an emotion together with a physical effect, because the emotion itself does not only affect the physical. Because nobody says, well, when you have an emotion, it affects the psyche in this way. Nobody says, well, when you have an emotion, it affects my ego in this way. You only look at the physical feeling. So when we look at our emotions, especially love, we don't consider all these things. We only consider physically. So love, being an emotion, can only exist if it's unconditional. Unconditional in this sense means it originates from the self. It originates from within your being. And originating from the self, it cannot depend on an external stimulus. You can become aware of your experiencing an emotion because you become aware of the situation you are in. But it originates from a deeper place within your psyche. If you want to say that the self is deep within the psyche of your who you are. So it's beyond the ego, it's beyond being part of your mental state, it's beyond being part of your emotional state. It comes from within. The same way deep-seated anger affects the psyche, the self. or deep-seated sadness. Love, it finds itself within that sphere. So we cannot say that I have love, a different love for my parents and a different love for my spouse. It's not logical. Love comes from the self, and coming from the self is unconditional. So, I'm sure there will be a lot of heartbroken teenagers out there to learn that there's no such thing as love or conditional love. And you can leave your comments on our Facebook page, Sankhya Television, to let me know what your thoughts are on this topic, and we can give some feedback in a follow-up program. So, thank you for joining me on Diksha. My name is Omkar, saying I'll see you next time.